You know, I take great pride. The first real gathering I've had since I've been back is this, since I've become speaker. And I will tell you this, all because of Connie. But being speaker was always a big goal of mine, only because I could never probably be chair of the Ag Show. You know, you might get some power in this job, but George has got all the real, and Dee have all the real power. And I really thank you for putting the commitment in. It's years. I mean, when you think of this Ag Show, it goes to the heart of the country. The first real occupation in this nation was a farmer. When you sat and you listened to those top 10 awards, they came from around the world. But it wasn't the things you would think about, like drones and others. So we've taken a tradition of the past and applied it to a changing future, where you still give back scholarships for the next generation, that they know that ag has changed, but we're going to keep that tradition. And there's no greater tradition that displays it around the world than right here in Tulare, where people give up their vacations to volunteer year after year, decade after decade, that you hand your occupation down to the next generation, and you hope that you're able to make it. Well, I hope if there's one thing you see today, is that this new Congress hears you. You got 10 members, bipartisan, the chairman of the Ag Committee, and this is the year we do the Farm Bill. We're not here to tell you what you need, we're here to listen to you. We'll do it for 2 hours coming forward, from North Carolina to Pennsylvania to Tennessee, and I'm very proud of having David Valadeo as my seatmate that comes right here, knows what it means to have a dairy farm, and knows what the struggles is, and also understands the importance of water, and no one has worked harder than David for that. Thank you, David. Now, George got more power in his job, but I hope he didn't have to go 15 rounds to win chairman like I did. Anybody can win speaker on the first round. It just takes a little tougher. But I will tell you, I'm very proud of having this delegation here, especially bipartisan, Panetta and Costa. And we've got my old roommate, Mr. Lamalfa from Sacramento, but it's really nice when we add a new face, and he comes from the ag industry. John Duarte. John, would you please stand up? The reason why I want John to stand, we don't call him landslide. He won by less than 1,000 votes. It was an open seat. If you would have asked where he was a year ago, he was still sitting in the exact same seats, but not as a congressman. Just a person who sold you your trees, fought for water, understood the ag industry, wondered if he could hand it off to the next generation. Then he sat around and he says, I can no longer do nothing. He's watching a country change before his eyes, more importantly a state, so he decided to throw his name in the ring. And you know what? I'm very proud of him. And that's exactly what we need in Washington. A few fresh faces, a few new ideas. I'm very proud of you, John, and I thank you for running. I look forward to what you accomplish in the next 2 years. You can applaud that. Nothing impresses me more than all the volunteers. You know, it's pretty amazing. You stand in line, you go through, and the person taking your ticket might be your banker, might be your doctor, might be your nurse, might be your school teacher, but it's all part of the family. And that's what makes this place so special, but that also what makes this place the only place in the world that can do it. You know, it was said, when tillage begins, other art flows. Therefore, the farmer is the founder of human civilization. Senator Daniel Webster said that more than 180 years ago when speaking about agriculture. He talked about when tillage begins, other art flows. I was not an art major, but there is nothing more beautiful when I see snow-tipped mountains, a green valley, and people all coming to the show. What ruins this artwork is when I see the water flow to the ocean and not to the valley. What ruins this artwork and when I see the choices are made for fish, not people. What ruins this artwork is you could guarantee you can hand it to the next generation if you were provided the freedom of the obstacles just to do your job. The rising cost of inflation. It's not the same to farm as you did in the past. But the ability to watch snow-tipped mountains and not have the storage after year you fought for, to watch it go out to the ocean. And people talk about creating a desalination plant so you can make that fresh water that went to salt water back into fresh water. Our pumps that are being denied to be put down so we can grow. We're plentiful. We can succeed because you've proven it time and again. I'm proud of being the speaker from the Valley, the first to ever have that opportunity. And I take those valleys, values, understanding, directly to the table. I pride myself on what grows here. From the pistachios, the walnuts, the grapes. Nobody grows more nuts in this valley than Sacramento or Washington. That's the only place. But all joking aside, I think it's the moment in time, and I pride the fact that the group of members that are here are bipartisan. You have Jim Costa, you have Panetta. They care about agriculture. They care about what you're saying. That's their district as well. But I want that to grow throughout Congress. I want them to see just what John F. Kennedy as president saw when he came to the San Luis Obispo Dam. When he talked about everybody on the East Coast should come to the West Coast. Because the investments that were made benefited everybody. The investments of water storage back in the 60s we're still living off of today with a whole different population. But he understood what came with that storage. That you took a rich land and made it even richer and plentiful. And individuals would make the risk, but feed the world. When we look at the world today, it's not just about the food, it's about the safety. When you look at the challenges, what people want to steal from us, they want to steal our knowledge on how to grow. But no one grows it in the manner that we do, the security and the safety and the plentifulness. My job, our job as legislators is to unshackle that and allow you to continue to do your job. You know, I talk about all these members. There's one that still has the title in my mind. It's Connie Conway. You could applaud her. She was willing to take a risk. She's willing to sacrifice, just like all the volunteers, and come to Washington. She might not have been able to serve for a long time, but she made an unbelievable imprint on all of us. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And so I've asked her, you might not have the title, but I want her to continue to serve. I asked her if she would work with me on my staff to continue to make sure the days I'm not here, that the voices are still being heard. She told me she'd think about it. But I think we might be able to.
1 second.
But you're going to continue to see her and hear from her, so I appreciate that. Look, I see the challenges that are going on. I've seen a nation continue to change. But when we focus on our foundation, nobody outcompetes us. And our job in the next Congress is to make sure you have the ability to do your job. That means at times we're going to be loud. That means at times we're going to have to fight. But I want you to learn one trait from me that I learned from the Valley. I will never give up. As my father always said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. We have great opportunities here, and I'm going to make sure we take every advantage of that opportunity because I know the world is a better place for it. So I'm honored to be able to share some time with you today, but this isn't the only time. So in a couple hours, we're going to sit down as a bipartisan group of members, and it's your moment in time. You can give us advice. We know where our poll ratings are. But what I really want you to do is give us your wisdom when it comes, not just today, but for the future. Because that's what we want to do in the next Farm Bill. We only bring it up once every 5 years. But it's not just the Farm Bill that I want to hear from. When we have fair trade, we can compete and we can put our products on every table. When I watch these other countries want to come and be on our shelves but say no to their countries, that's wrong. We need to knock down every barrier because no one's going to beat us in that process. But we need to also knock down the barriers where we provide you the water to be able to provide the product to be on those shelves. So come forward, give us your ideas, because we want to bring Washington to you, and we want to take your values back there to solve it. Thank you, and God bless.